I hear about them a lot. I hear they're dangerous. Other people think they're fantastic. Some people are somewhere in between. Well, we got midterms coming up next week. You're going to be voting, I trust. I am. We want to consider what's in the best interest of the country, and we want to consider what will help keep the country safe or what might be a danger to the country. Well, I've heard warnings, even from our own president, that the MAGA crowd, Make America Great Again, that they pose a real danger to our democracy. They pose a danger to the peace and the national tone. The MAGA crowd, of course, the MAGA movement is largely identified with former President Donald Trump. Are they indeed a dangerous group? Is there any danger involved with the MAGA movement? Let's not answer too quick. I know that the temptation, whichever side of this you're on, is to get knee-jerk. But if we answer that too quickly, I would say we probably haven't thought it through very quickly. Now, if I hear that a group or a person is a threat, I take it pretty seriously. Full disclosure, I've made no secret about it over the years. I've blogged about it, written on it, spoken on it. I did vote for Trump twice. I happen to be a registered Republican, and yes, I do want to see America made great again. I'm all for that. Make America great again. If somebody instead of MAGA is proposing MAPA, Make America Perfect Again, I'm going to say, well, America never was perfect. Never. If somebody says MACA, Make America Christian Again, well, countries don't become Christian. Individuals are born again. Countries are not. But America has been largely influenced by Judeo-Christian principles. Absolutely. Sure. So if somebody started a movement saying, make America influenced by Judeo-Christian principles again, that's not going to look good on a red hat, but I would go behind that. We've never been perfect, but yeah, we have been greater than we are. Now, come on, you got to be able to admit that. We have been greater than we once were. The French philosopher Alexis de Tocqueville, when he visited America back in 1831, he said, and I quote, "Not until I went into the churches of America and heard her pulpits flame with righteousness did I understand the secret of her genius and power. America is great because America is good, and if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great." Well, I think as the influence of the church has waned in America, much of America's goodness has waned. If we cease to be good, we cease to be great. So yeah, I support any move to make America great by that standard. I think we all do. But does that mean we're all Republicans? No. If we're Republican, does that mean we all voted for Trump? No. If we're conservative, does that mean we were Trump supporters? No. Gosh, I've got a lot of very Christ-centered, godly friends who doctrinally and morally believe everything I believe passionately, and they absolutely would not have voted for Trump come hell or high water. And I don't have any patience with anybody who tells me they should or they shouldn't. I think that's nonsense. When you're telling someone what person to vote for, I say baloney. On issues of conscience, Romans 14:5 comes into play. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. So, in the interest of being fully persuaded and voting responsibly, what should I say when somebody says this group is dangerous? How do I determine if a group like MAGA is a dangerous group? Well, I'll tell you this. If they don't do the following three things, then they make me nervous, okay? First, if they do not put principle above party, that makes me nervous. If the party is first, no matter what, regardless of the principle involved in the issue, no. If the party goes above principle, in other words, if the party is the top priority, if my party wants it, it must be right. If my party supports it, it must be good, whether or not in principle it really is. Now, that's a violation of 1 Timothy 5:21. Do nothing by partiality. That's partiality. You know, it's sort of like loyalty to people. I hope I'm loyal to my friends. I think I am. I think I'm a pretty loyal friend. But if I have a friend who's wrong, I'm not going to say they're right just because they're my friend. Good heavens, I wouldn't say my own family members are right if I don't think they're right just because they're my family members. Loyalty doesn't demand silencing your own conscience. So no, if somebody is putting principle above party, I'm out. I'm out. Now, I happen to be, as I said, a registered Republican, but you know what? That's an affiliation. It's not a mandate. That's an affiliation, and it's an affiliation with qualifiers. Okay, I don't support everything my party may want to support. Absolutely not. And there's no way I'm going to support a candidate just because he or she is Republican. Absolutely not. I mean, if the candidate does not support the principles I believe in when I get into that voting booth, including limited government, strong national defense, free enterprise, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, law and order, if they don't support those principles, they ain't got my vote. I don't care how Republican they are. I support my party, but I'm not married to my party. I never said to the Republican Party, till death do us part. But I am married to biblical principles, and they will always go above my party. So if they put party above principles, that group makes me nervous. If any group does not put principle above personality, that makes me nervous. If the personality is just right because why? I like him. I've always liked him. I've always liked her. So they've got to be right no matter what. That's a violation of Romans 2:11. There is no respect of persons with God. No respect of persons with God. Now, just for example, in practical terms, again, I voted for Donald Trump. I have also often been very critical of former President Donald Trump. Now, I think the world of President Trump in many ways. There's so much he's contributed that I admire, and I thank him for the Supreme Court appointments that we've gotten from him. And I could go down a long list, but no, there are times he said things that I thought were appalling and absolutely wrong. There are times I think he has been wrong, as I would say that of anybody, as anybody would say of me, So no, principle goes above personality. Let's never be so loyal to any leader, no matter how good we think they are. Just because they're the leader we favor, that doesn't mean everything they do is sanctioned by God. If the person I voted for is wrong, that person is wrong. That doesn't discount my support, but it does underline my principles, and they override the personality. So any group that puts personality over principle, I'm out. And finally, any group that does not put principle above passion. That's pretty important these days. Principle above passion, Today is a day when people are drunk on passion. You've noticed that. I mean, wave a cause in front of some people's faces and they'll jump on board without even examining the cause. Passion these days is often seen as principle. Thereby, passion is seen as what justifies what people do. So people these days will say, I'm mad. Oh, well, you're mad, then you must be right. No, that doesn't, the question is, what are you mad about? Do you have a legitimate beef here? But just the fact that somebody is passionate, no. If you put passion above principle, what you're basically saying is, I feel so passionately about this party or about this candidate or even about this particular cause that no matter what this party does, no matter what the candidate does, no matter what the cause is doing, I'm passionate about it, even to the point of sacrifice on my principles. Oh, no. That's kind of like saying it doesn't really matter what you believe so long as you really believe. That's nonsense. What matters is ultimately what you believe, much more than how much you believe. Good heavens, James said even the devils believe and they tremble. So what? They really believe, but that doesn't mean they're saved. No, you don't want to put passion above principle, no matter how strongly you feel about a cause or an individual or a party. And you know what? I'll bet in these midterms you're feeling pretty strongly. I am. I'll admit it. But before we vote, let's take a deep breath. We are citizens of the kingdom of God, first and foremost. We want to be responsible earthly citizens in the nation that God has placed us, and I am grateful beyond words for the fact that he placed me in this one. I guess that's why I always say with a little hesitation, make America great again. Yes, I believe we've been greater in the past than we are now, but I still believe we're a great nation. I'm very proud of that. But my identification as an American comes nowhere near my identification as a subject of the kingdom of God, a follower of Jesus Christ, a believer in him and a disciple of him. Now, it is true, if we're going to judge any particular crowd, MAGA included, most crowds have a fringe element, don't they? I think we've seen some fringe elements in every group, even if it's a group that I happen to admire. But it's really not fair to judge the group itself by the fringe elements in the group. If we are going to assess a group, assess a movement, assess a party, assess an organization, let's do it by two variables, okay? One, their verifiable positions. What are they on record as standing for? And secondly, the behavior of the majority of them, okay? What is their position? What is their verifiable position or positions? And what is the behavior of the majority of the people in that group? I think that's the only fair way to judge whether or not a group is dangerous. I'm not telling you whether or not MAGA is dangerous. Me, I don't believe they are. No, I largely support much of what they support. But if you are going to assess someone as dangerous, please do it by the positions that you can verify that they hold and by the behavior of the majority. And above all, hey, come on, please, next week, vote. Vote. That is your responsibility as a citizen of the United States. But even more important, pray. Pray for our leaders. That is a mandate for a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. Hey, it's good talking with you. This is Sound Doctrine Bites. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. If you haven't yet liked our Facebook page, please do so. I would love to hear from you too. You got any comments, suggestions, criticisms, whatever? Love to hear from you. Let me know if there are any topics that you wish I would cover. I'm very open to suggestions. Let me know that as well. Also, check out, if you haven't already, my weekly podcast, Christians in a Cancel Culture with Joe Dallas, Christians in a Cancel Culture. Subscribe to that if you would. Let me thank you personally for that. And finally, if you want to support this ministry, Cloudfire Ministries, hey, we'd love to have you as a partner. Just go to joedallas.com/giving, joedallas.com/giving. That'll tell you how you can align yourself with this ministry and be part of our work here. Well, I'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Thanks for taking the time to be here. See you next week. God bless.